If we do that. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome again. Welcome back in. Oh my god, Discord's going crazy. Hello, welcome to the stream again, everybody. I hope you are all okay. My name is Arthremis or Paige, whichever you prefer. It's alright, I know. It's alright, don't worry, I'm good. Alright, so hello, welcome everybody to the stream. My name is Paige, or Arthremis, whichever you prefer. And the name is a mixture of arthritis, which I have, and Greek mythology, which I love. And I am joined by our second set of incredible guests for today. Hello, everybody. Hello. How are we all doing today? Fair enough. Well, surviving is good to hear.
Surviving and vibing, I think, is probably my eternal state.
Needs to be like a t-shirt, I think, that surviving and vibing.
I'll make it my next merch line. Nobody steal it.
Fantastic, got it.
Yeah,
like
quick, get the patent for it.
Yeah, just sign up online. So, you can see all the lovelies that I'm talking to right now, but I am joined by Radis Gaming, Dracthernia, Grass Streams, or Kaylin, Sugar Pixie, Mouse Was Taken, Psychic, and Rosalera. And we are going to get everyone to introduce themselves to get all of our chatting muscles stretched out and ready to go. And we are going to start with the beautiful, effervescent, and gorgeously colourful Radders. Hello, Radders.
Hi.
Hello, Radders, my darling. Could
Hello.
you tell us what name you go by, your pronouns, and just a little bit about yourself?
Okay, cool. So my name's Radis. You can call me Lauren, though. That's my real name. My pronouns are she and her. And a little bit about myself. I have 5 cats, and I would not have stopped if it wasn't for the fact that nobody else in the house will let me have them.
So you just essentially need to get a cattery.
Yes. But also I have multiple chronic illnesses. I've been diagnosed with ME, fibromyalgia, POTS, and I'm being assessed for autoimmune issues with my joints.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's been I've been ill for the last 7.5 years, 7 and a bit years.
Fair enough.
So it's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while. Why did you want to be part of today's discussion, apart from me poking everyone on the internet for about a month?
I think it's just because it doesn't really matter what kind of size platform you have, what kind of influence you have. There's always going to be things that people can't see, you know, especially if you're dealing with any kind of condition that's not visible. People are always going to kind of make assumptions about the things you do or why you do them. And I think it's important that everyone of every background, whatever that's going on, gets to learn and understand what it's like to be one of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the little hidden things, the little things that you don't think about or consider that might actually help or impact negatively. And everyone has opportunity to learn and grow and change. And I'm just happy and honestly a little bit honored that you would ask me to even be a tiny part of this. So thank you.
Well, you know, there's secret fangirling in the background going on, but you know, I'm very honored that you chose to be part of this as well, because obviously it's a Saturday with a lot of us having chronic illnesses and things. We're all bloody tired all the time. So I thank everyone here for any minute they spend with us. It's incredibly thankful for all of you. So, Radders, where can people find you online if they want to come and check you out? And then we'll ask the most difficult question of all after this.
Hell yeah, I'm ready. Okay. So you can find me on Twitter and Twitch. Sorry, I forgot the name of Twitch for a second. Both are just Radders Gaming. RADDERSSGAMING. There are 2 S's in there. I'm sorry, somebody stole Radders with 1 S on Minecraft when I was 12. There was nothing I could do about it.
Fantastic. I'm loving the story behind the name. Now, 2 questions. One is mine, one is one that we already written down. Is that a Bulbasaur with a ditto face behind you? Oh,
It's
hell
just a
yes.
regular Bulbasaur. I don't see what the fuss is all about. He looks totally normal. Why
No.
won't my camera zoom in? Oh, it's because it's focusing on Danny DeVito's face. Hang on.
Is that a thing that normally happens? Do we have to be careful of Danny DeVito?
There he is. Yeah, Danny DeVito gets picked up on my webcam, and so it just focuses on him when I'm trying to be like, oh, look at this pretty thing.
One day there'll just be actual Danny DeVito in the back of your stream and you won't know why the camera isn't focusing.
Imagine just actual Danny DeVito, like,
Just
drills
sat in
a
your
hole in the
bookshelf.
wall and just sticks his head through.
It's the kind of thing you do.
Yeah. Actually, that is a good point. It is the kind of thing that they do.
I mean, I'd love to meet Danny DeVito. Go right ahead, man.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Come on
Right,
over.
we'll get in touch. I'll see what I can do. And the most difficult question that seems to have been so far, of the last year, what has been your favourite video game? Oh. There you go, the curveball.
Hades.
Hades, done, easy. Because of the sexy protagonist, or the voice acting, or just everything?
It's a little bit of everything. I really like roguelike kind of games, things that you can play in short bursts, because when I'm trying to like have a little chill out, I'm having a lie down because I'm feeling rough as anything, I can pick it up and play it for a little bit, and if after 5 minutes I'm just too tired, I just save in the room, turn it off. A lot of games don't give you that opportunity just to easily end like your play without having to disturb the story elements and everything else going on in the game.
Yeah.
And also all the gods are ridiculously attractive, and you know, I apparently enjoy the eternal purgatory of being thirsty all the time.
Honestly, it's like the fucking Sahara in here. It's just...
I am not the Sahara when I play that game.
Well, bloody hell. Okay, well, we'll leave you in the desert to dry out for a bit, and we will move on to the next person. The next person is our gothic queen. Very funny, very knowledgeable, very kind, and with a gorgeous cat behind her. Hello, Drag.
Yes, I mean, that's what you're mostly interested in, isn't it? It's
sorry.
Strigger is the real...
Could you move over a bit? Strigger needs more room.
Oh, dear. Yeah, just...
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, just little further out left of frame. That should... There. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Hello, Dracthonia, my darling. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm nervous as all hell, but yeah, no, I'm here. Seem to be doing better than most people, with the mass migraines, the lack of sleep, the...
Yeah. All of that lot. So, let's start with the simple questions. Could you tell us the name you go by, what your pronouns are, and just a little bit about you?
Okay, so I'm Dracthonia, or Drac, aka the Bat Queen of Twitch. I am by Pan and Demi-Flux, so I go by she, they pronouns. I think I covered the questions there.
Fabulous. That works for me. If people want to come and check you out online, where can they find you?
I am a Twitch streamer. I do YouTube videos, which are D&D DM tutorials. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and Etsy for my leatherworking.
And is that all under Dracthonia?
Yep, it's all under Dracthonia.
Nice
Real
and
easy.
If you do want to find anyone who is on the stream currently, if you type in !multi, M-U-L-T-I, you will get a multi-stream link that has everybody on it, so you can easily follow straight off of there and go and find them. It's good and simple. So, why did you want to be part of today's stream, Drac?
Well, as someone who is LGBTQIA, has mental health problems, chronic illnesses, I really wanted to be on this because it was a case of ticking all the boxes and going, look, these are a thing. We may not look ill and we may not look like this, but we are out there.
Yes.
We're not a secret society, but you know, we're close.
We're being used to sleepless society as well.
Sleepless
as well
society,
as a secret society, because none of us
Yeah.
can hold a schedule. So turn up when you're ready. We'll have the meeting then.
Oh dear. But
all
yes,
right.
it was very much a raising awareness and showing that we may not look as you stereotype us to be. We are actually a whole bunch of variety and wonderful people.
Yep. And as my chat is saying, we're not a cult just for tax reasons. Because
Yeah.
yes. Being I mean, at least speaking for myself, being disabled is expensive. So we can't afford any taxes. But I'm sure we will get into that.
Please don't tax us.
Yeah, please don't tax us. Drac, the most difficult question of all, even. My God, the brain fog is hitting hard right now. Stretch out.
The brain fog.
The brain fog. It rolls in like a mist, which I just fuck off. But what has been your favourite video game of the last year?
Oh, the one that I've been... So it's going to be difficult to pick between both Phasmophobia, which is surprising because I'm not a big horror games person, because my anxiety literally kicks my ass if I try to play horror games. So I don't know how I'm enjoying Phasmophobia, but I am. And Viscera Cleanup Detail has been one of the games that I've been using as like a therapeutic game. It's so good to just kind of be like, must clean,
Sometimes
but not
you
in
just
real
have
life.
to practice hiding the bodies. You know, it's just...
Yeah, it's practice.
Well, thank you very much, Drac. Thank you very much. Now, on to a new friend who I met fairly recently, but who is super intelligent, a member of the VTubing space, and just seems like a really fucking good bean of a human. We have Grass Streams versus Inarashi versus Kaylin. Hello.
Yeah. I have a lot of names. I have a lot of hats. My name is Kaylin.
Kaylin.
That's my legal first name.
Excellent.
I'm Kaylin Sandel. I am a narrative designer. I live in sunny and very cold right now Boston area, and I actually am a VTuber, but first and foremost, I make games. I'm a game designer. I'm a narrative designer. I'm an experimental author. I kind of arrived at VTubing through the game that I am working on right now, Caves of Cud, which is a retrofuturist roguelike that was started by two guys like 10 years ago. And when they hit early access in 2015, I joined up a couple of years later, and I started becoming a VTuber, in part to promote the game, but in part because I was getting harassment when I used Facecam, because, you know, being an easy to clock, you know, trans woman on the internet means that the more visibility you have, the more flack you're going to get. So I started VTubing, and I have this alter ego, this Snapjaw that I play.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. And I can, from what I've seen of the stream today, I can guarantee you're not going to get any shit here. And if you did, the mods would kick the crap out of them. So don't you worry.
Oh, yeah.
We are all good and sorted for today. Also, I'm loving that we, at least on my screen, have this like beautiful candy cotton color, hair color, sort of L shape going on here. And then two gingers on this side. And then just framed by three beautiful brunettes. So
that's
it's
really
fantastic.
Good. Yes,
it's good color symmetry here. There is a good question from the good question from the
crack
chat.
Of doom.
Yes, from the crack of doom. We have a good question. Can they be ignorant and ask what a VTuber is, Kaylin?
A VTuber is essentially someone who uses an animated avatar that tracks your movements as kind of an alter ego to stream as. Kizuna Ai was the one who coined the term VTuber. So it got really big in Japan. If you've seen Inugami Korone, the dog girl who likes to play violent video games and squeal about them, it's very cute. you know, my avatar is a little bit more cartoony, a little bit less human, and that's kind of been an interesting way of doing things. A VTuber could be someone who just uses face rig to make themselves a dinosaur and play as a dinosaur instead of as themselves.
Yep.
So VTubing is it's a broad umbrella of media with multiple fandoms underneath it.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much for that explanation. So, why did you want to take part in today's discussion?
I wanted to take part in today's discussion in part so that I could network and learn about more, you know, more streamers who foster welcoming communities, who enforce good boundaries in their spaces. These things have been really important to me, increasingly so in the past few years. So finding streams where I feel welcome and where I feel at home, and finding streamers with whom I feel comfortable has been a big priority for me. And so being on this helps me get the word out about myself. It helps me meet new people. It helps me, you know, like run into people in chat that I might not otherwise have. So really, it's just because I want to know everyone. Cool.
Fantastic. Good answer. I like that. I like that. So, where can people find you online if they want to come and check you out and be part of that little wholesome community that you're fostering?
Well, I am available to follow here on Twitch at Gra Streams, which is, you know, Gra, the name of the character that I play, and Streams, which is what she does.
Yep.
So give me a follow there. On Twitter, I'm Inurashi. That's INURASHII. It's Japanese for dog-like, because I am. And if you want to join the Caves of Cud Discord, I'd be happy to throw you a link. There is a little bit of a vetting process thanks to a harassment crowd that hit us a few months ago, but we're chugging along and still doing well and still enforcing our community boundaries.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. So I've typed those out in the chat as well, so anyone that needs to just get the spelling correct can do so. And the last question before we move on to the next person for now, of the last year, what's your favourite video game been? And you can't say Caves of Cud because that's cheating.
Oh, I was gonna say Caves of Cud.
I know you were.
Oh. Okay, it's Astroneer. It's honestly Astroneer. Like, I am really into, like, my streams, to anybody who's been to them know that I really focus on kind of a chill vibe. Like, I don't get really, really hyped up. I don't get really excited. I don't yell. I don't, you know, I kind of wanted to model myself after, like, Lee Alexander's lo-fi Let's Plays. So, like, Astroneer has been the best vibe for 2020 and late 2020 and early 2021. It's like meditation. It's so, like, you can play it at your own pace. Danger never comes to you. You have to go and seek it out. There are lots of, like, building tasks, and also everything looks like candy. Like, I want to eat all of the game pieces because they're so cute.
Fantastic. I am glad to hear it. Thank you so much, Kaylin. We're going to move on to another new friend of mine. I've met so many new people. It's been so lovely. She's been so incredibly wholesome when we've chatted. Very kind, has a very lovely little community going on. And I'm very, very impressed by that. I'm going to say it and probably be wrong. Is this a double bass in the background there, Sugar Pixie?
It is a double bass in the background, yes.
Excellent. My memory of string instruments is going well.
Disclaimer, it isn't mine, it's my husband's.
That's fine.
I've got an accordion, but the double bass is...
It's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. It looks good, though. It's a very nice vibe in the background there. Welcome in, Sugar Pixie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, actually. It's a good day today.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. So, let's start off nice and simple again. Can you let us know what name you go by, what your pronouns are, and then just a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so yeah, I'm Sugar Pixie. I go by the pronoun she, her. I live in Belgium with my husband and 2 cats who are napping somewhere. I'm an art historian officially. That's what I studied, but I ended up doing something completely different. I work in an academy. I do PR for an academy for the performing arts. And I stream on Twitch. I'm a pretty new streamer, pretty small streamer. Play a lot of different games. I have a love for point-and-click adventures, everything that's story-rich or story-driven. And I was diagnosed with the inflammatory bowel disease ulcerative colitis in 2006. That's 14 years ago now. And besides that, I've also struggled with bouts of depression throughout the last 5 to 10 years, most likely, which has been up and down. I'm in a bit of a down period at the moment,
Yep.
which is only, made bigger by the whole COVID lockdown situation.
Yes.
So yeah, that's it in short.
Yeah. And just echoing what Luke and I said on the previous panel, just it's okay not to be okay. So I thank you for coming and sharing it with us, even during a down period, because I know it can take a lot more time and effort to come and speak publicly about things like that when you are experiencing a downtime. So I'm very proud of you for that.
Thank you.
So, where can people find you online? On Lime? They can find you on Limes if they want to, but where can they find you online as well if they want to come and check out your wholesome little community?
I stream on Twitch under the same name, Sugar Pixie, and they can also find me on Instagram and on Twitter, where it's Miss Sugar Pixie, because Sugar Pixie was taken.
Always the way. Radders knows this pain, so... All right, and then the most difficult question, of course, because it seems to be getting everyone, is of the last year, what has been your favourite video game to play?
Okay, so for me, that's a very clear-cut answer.
Easy.
I know it didn't come out last year, but I played it for the first time last year, and it just blew me away. Return of the Obra Dinn, just amazing. I thought it was the most amazing experience. I've never experienced anything like it. So if you haven't played it yet, please play Return of the Obra Dinn.
It's definitely one that I still need to check out, but I'm pretty sure it's on sale on Switch maybe at the minute, so I have to check that out once I've convinced myself not to buy Hyrule Warriors. It's expensive. It's so good.
Struggle.
Oh, the demo is like 3 hours long. They've basically just given you the whole game. It's incredible. I loved it so much. But yes, thank you, Miss Sugar Pixie. We will obviously be coming back to talk with everyone very shortly. Now we have to get on to a friend of mine who I made last year, and we have talked about many topics, mostly over, well, just being lewd about video game characters and yelling at ghosts and discovering you can be murdered if you ask a ghost in Phasmophobia, are you Scottish? So at the risk of being murdered, I won't ask Mouse where they're from. But hello, Mouse was taken, my darling.
Hello.
Hello, Mouse. How are you doing, fellow Ginger?
I'm doing okay today. It's a normal pain day.
Excellent.
So it's pi, so it's never ending, but it's low level.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad it's an okay day for you. Let's start off like we have with everyone else, although Mouse has been incredible and already put in their name and their pronouns, as well as some closed captions. I will mention, just because I did mention it in the previous panel, I tried for days to get closed captioning working for everyone on the stream. I couldn't get it working this time, unfortunately. The next time we do one of these streams, which is going to be in March, I will be running it on Google Hangouts, so hopefully it has its own internal closed captioning so that we can have it more accessible to everyone. But I will upload the VOD onto YouTube, which will then use its own captioning system. So hopefully you'll be able to catch up with it if you do require captions. I just do apologise, I couldn't get them working for this stream. It wasn't for a lack of trying. But yes, Mouse has got hers all set up, which is excellent. So, Mouse, tell us the name you go by, a little bit about you, and just what your pronouns are, if anyone can't see them there.
So I go by Mouse or Shawnee Allison, which is like my my business name for my art. But most people just still call me Mouse anyway. My Twitch is Mouse was taken because someone stole my name. Stole my name. Very mad about it still. Twitch staff stole my name, by the way. Twitch staff stole my name.
Cheeky buggers.
I am from Scotland. I'm a full-time content creator / freelance illustrator, artist. I do emotes and stuff. I did the food fight emotes back in 2019 for Twitch, when they had like the little cheer thing where you could throw food at each other. I have a degree in forensic science and 3/4 of a PhD in chemistry. But I'm on medical leave of absence right now because my body went to hell.
Yep.
And it does not like me right now.
PhDs, they do that to you.
I've been ill since I was 12. So the past 16 years. I finally got a doctor to take me seriously when I was 19, who then just kind of threw painkillers at me. I finally got a diagnosis at 21, and then I got some more diagnoses last year. So I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I also have fibromyalgia, peripheral neuropathy, which basically just means that my nerves do things that they shouldn't.
Endless pain.
So they'll either give me pain or they'll do something like make it feel like I have sunburn on like a random patch of skin, or they will make like my hands or my feet just like incredibly itchy, but you can't scratch them. Which honestly, that's the worst part of it. Okay, that's the worst part of it. I also have borderline personality disorder, PTSD, general anxiety disorder, and depression.
All right, and would you like some fries with that?
Oh, and I'm being assessed for ADHD, so you know.
Yes, that's something I'm working on as well. But yes, not to make light, but you know, sometimes comedy really does help with going through a lot of these things. And I know it takes a lot to talk about, so thank you, Mouse. I appreciate you coming and talking.
Also, I would like fries with that if you have any.
All right, I'll get them in the post. I'll sort you out. Oh, and Sizor wants a milkshake, so okay, well, I'll get an order in shortly. All right, we'll get lunch. Why did you want to take part in today's discussion, Mouse?
So as well as being chronically awesome and mentally unstable, I'm also unable to make a decision. So I am asexual and panromantic, which means I love everyone.
Just got a lot of love to give.
I just want to love everyone, you know. It's all I want. And yeah, I mean, I know probably a lot of us have been through the same thing where trying to get doctors to listen is the worst thing ever, because doctors are generally, in my opinion, terrible people when it comes to chronic illness. Okay. And as soon as you have anxiety or depression on your chart, that's what they will blame it on.
Or wait.
And like, we're here, we exist. It's not as uncommon as it's made out to be.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mouse. So where can people find you online? I know we've pretty much already covered that, but just a quick recap for people.
So you can find me on Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok as Mouse Was Taken. And you can find me on Twitter as Mouse Is Taken, because ironically, Mouse Was Taken.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And of course, the most difficult question, once I just compliment your background, because it's beautiful. I love your organization there. That is so good. And I like your Kupo. What's been your favorite game of the last year?
I just said I can't make decisions.
Make a decision, Mouse.
I don't know. I played a lot of Stardew Valley last year for the first time. I also really loved Last of Us Part 2. Yep. And I've enjoyed Phasmophobia, but I haven't played it as much as you.
Yeah, I don't think many people have.
And also, like, Horizon Zero Dawn is just hands down my favorite game of every year, because I play it pretty much every year. So, you know, there's a few. I can't make a decision lower than that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mouse. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Let's move on to our next guest, who is 1, gorgeous, 2, colourful as hell, 3, I've known her for a very long time. She has an infectious smile and she's a fantastic streamer. Let's move on to me. No, Psychit. Hello, Psychit.
Hello.
Hello, my darling. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's a not too bad day today. I got some sleep.
Good.
So, you know, always going there.
Yes. Small applause for sleep. We appreciate this. We appreciate the sleep. So, let's kick off as we have with everyone else. Could you tell us the name you go by, what your pronouns are, and just a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Psychit. I also go by Claire, or various expletives that people throw at me. Sometimes I go by Biscuits as well, but that's a different story. I am a she, her, full-time content creator on Twitch and YouTube, and yeah, those are the only two platforms that I content create on. No others.
Cool.
But yeah, that's it. That's me.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. Why did you want to take part in today's discussion as well? Why not?
My diagnosis is relatively new. It's only maybe sort of 4 or 5 years old in the grand scheme of things of people who have suffered for a longer time. I've had polycystic ovaries for literally all of my life, so there has been like an element of that, but also my I have fibromyalgia, and about a year and a half ago, probably closer to 2 years now, I was bedridden for 7 months with 2 slip discs in my back that still haven't fully recovered. It's still a work in progress. The pandemic put a hold on a lot of the physio that I was going to, just from like a personal standpoint. I can do exercises at home, but I'm not seeing somebody for it anymore because of, that's about it. That's about it. And it's just nice to be able to connect with other people who have experienced maybe a little bit longer, and it's bringing more awareness. I talk about like pain and how I'm feeling a lot. When I introduce myself to like any raiders that come in, I'm like, I stream as close to 1 o'clock as my chronic pain will allow, rather than anything like that. So it's always at the forefront, but it's nice to be able to spread awareness of those invisible things. Because I mean, I look fine. I look absolutely fine. There's no, I don't look ill or in pain, but there are days when I'm like, I can't move, and put it, like, being able to put a bra on is an absolute joy, Yeah, exactly. Just being able to get a bra on is a good thing, because most of my pain is sort of like localized to like around my rib cage. So breathing is sometimes difficult. So it's really nice to have those kind of interactions. And share awareness of something that doesn't look like look like there's a problem, but there is, and it's just nice to be able to share that with other people.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And where can people find you online? Obviously, we know you do Twitch and YouTube, but absolutely nowhere else. So.
You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, all Psychit. You can find me on Instagram as Psychit with an underscore after it, for the very same reasons that everybody else has said. Yes. Psychit was already taken, but I stream predominantly space games with an excessively hefty focus on Elite Dangerous. That's what I do. Space, pink, and cats mostly, and an occasional dog as well. We're equal opportunities in this house.
Excellent, fantastic. Well, I'll make sure I mark that down on the sheet and just keep that hold of in case we need to ask about pets. And then, what of the last year has been your favorite video game?
It should be Elite Dangerous, shouldn't it? But it's not. I love Elite, but I think out of the last year, the most joy that I've had is by playing Phasmophobia and Among Us. Excellent. 2 games that are absolutely, I don't play them on stream. I play them with the lads, like off stream. And also Warzone is a really good, it really scratches that FPS itch that I haven't been able to get. And over, I can't pick. I clearly can't pick. But yeah, Phasmo is probably the most fun that I've had in a game this year.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Psychit. Thank you very much. And we do have one more lovely person to introduce. They don't have a camera, but that doesn't stop them being incredible. They have very kindly moved to this slot from a later slot in the day to help balance out all the groups. They are a wonderful mod, a very kind person, and just absolutely lovely to speak to. It's Rosa Lara.
Hello.
Hello, Rosa, my darling. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
I am not too bad. I'm just going to turn your volume up a bit.
Sorry, I'm very nervous, so I'm probably speaking very quietly.
Don't you worry. I can manage that on my end. Yep, that's all right. Don't worry. I can manage that on my end, so you do what's best for you. But yes, welcome in, my darling. Could you tell us no, don't tell me that. Tell us the name you go by, what your pronouns are, and just a little bit about yourself in as much time as you need.
Okay, so my name's Jess, or Jessica. My pronouns are she, her, and online I go by my username, Rosalera, which is actually my World of Warcraft character name, which has kind of evolved into an original character, and just I guess like an online persona. It is myself. I'm a little bit private. I don't always share stuff about myself. So yeah, I'm happy to answer to either name, but mostly I'm Rosa or Rosalera. Online, I am mostly active on Twitch as a mod and community member. I have been known to hit the go live button once in a blue moon, but I'm not a streamer. It's a running joke. Everyone likes to shout me out and go, she might stream one day. I never stream one day. If I do, it might be at like 3 a.m. and I'm doing something really random, and I'm just like, I'm going to just hit it and see who comes in, and I'll chat to them. So you can find me hanging out on Twitch. I've used my Twitch profile to link to streamers that I absolutely love and communities that I hang out in. Some of them I'm a mod in, some I'm not, but that's fine. So that's where you can find me as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I will quickly say, Mouse, I like your cat. On to the next question. Rosa, why did you want to be in today's conversation if you're sort of normally, a little bit more behind the scenes?
So I am diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome and endometriosis stage 4. And I had a roller coaster of a time getting a diagnosis. So a chance to talk about those things was very important for me. I think there's not enough attention given to them. I think that there are a lot of people that suffer with this, and they're never quite sure if they are, because there's a lot of doctor gaslighting that goes on, where they go, yes, but periods are meant to be painful. Yes, you're meant to have all of these problems.
No.
You should just take some painkillers and go away. And I suffered with it since I was 12, and I am now 32. I was diagnosed 2 years ago. So I wanted a chance to highlight that and potentially talk a little bit about the process. If people have questions, you're welcome to contact me. I also have generalized anxiety disorder, and when I was younger, due to trauma, I was diagnosed with avoidant personality disorder. I wish it wasn't called that. It sounds like such a cop-out kind of name for something. But yeah, so it's also therapeutic for me to be here, because I'm speaking to new people and potentially a lot of people online. I'm not looking at numbers, and that's a big deal for me. So yeah.
Thank you, my darling. I really appreciate your input, and I really appreciate you coming to share your story with us. It's lovely to hear from other women who have had similar situations and things going on. Because obviously, as soon as you said, "Oh, doctors," every single one of us smiled and just started bobbing their heads like, "Yes, we understand." So, let's move on to the next question. You've already told us where we can find you, but of the last year, what has been your favourite video game to play that isn't World of Warcraft?
Yes, so I'm going to avoid saying it because I've played it since 2004, 5. I will go with Phasmophobia, like everyone else, because it's a lot of fun, or Hollow Knight. Absolutely love it. Very recently discovered it. Absolutely love it.
Raders is pointing at art on the wall.
I know, I saw it. and on your shelf, I saw them. I want them.
Excellent. I'm appreciating everyone's backgrounds. They're all got different vibes, but they're all really nice. Alrighty-o, we have lost somebody, but we will get them back in a moment. Is everybody happy to move on to the next question? Excellent.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to stay muted while everyone was introducing.
Don't you worry. Mouse has done an oops, so let me just hit that be right back screen just so I can pull Mouse back in. Otherwise, everyone's going to see all the secret conversations we've had about hair pretty much at the last few hours.
and the stock market.
And the stock market, my God. That's all right. It's fine. We can all still be heard. There we go. I found Mouse again. We're all good.
I clicked on it by accident.
You dingus. There we go. Oh, we're all sorted. Don't you worry. You're all back, Mouse. Your video's not on, but there you go. You're all good.
There you go.
Sorted. There we go. All right, welcome back in. So, let's go with. So, we've probably only got time for 2 questions with a good amount of discussion. So, I'm just going to read through them and see which ones we're going to go with. I think we'll go with the first one. And again, these all came from the public. So, they're from things that people wanted to know from us. So, do you feel comfortable discussing mental health issues publicly? And it is okay to say no or to say, oh, but with context. And what do you wish people knew or would ask you about mental health? Who wants to kick us off?
Silence.
I'll go for it.
All right. Go on then, Mouse, and then we'll go to Kaylin afterwards.
My community knows more about my health and mental health probably than they want to, because I am an open book. I cannot keep things to myself. I'm really bad at it. So I just kind of blurt out whatever I'm feeling at the time.
Fair enough.
I have no filter. My community very often, like, our conversations always end up in a different place to where I thought they were going to go from the start, because I get off at the wrong station. But like, my community knows about my mental health issues. They know about my physical health issues. We've talked in depth about the fact that I have 2 uteruses, which is just weird. Like, my mod and my best friend, if we're doing multiplayer stuff, like, we will openly talk about his issues with bowel movements. Like, we have no filter. We don't care.
Cool. Fabulous. And is there anything that you wish people would, that people knew or that they would ask about mental health? Like, being open and sharing, but is there something you wish people would actually say, hey, what about X?
I mean, like, the one thing that I would probably wish more people would do / be able to do, because there is like a barrier to it, which is access to therapy. Because even if you don't have mental health issues, therapy is still going to help you. Like, if you have access to therapy, try it and see if it helps you, because for most people, like, it will just make things easier for you in life, even if you're not, riddled with mental illness, mentally unstable. Just, like, I wish there wasn't a barrier to it, because mental health care, like, I'm pretty sure everyone here knows, getting access to it is a nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have many thoughts on governments that are dismantling mental health support and care, let alone, well, I'm basically just thinking about the UK government at this time.
Yep.
Also, access to care for, trans people and all sorts of other stuff. I hate that mental health is almost taking a step back, like the care and support that people are getting or able to access. It feels like we've kind of gone backwards to a time where you have to just shut up and don't talk about it because there's no access to care. So what do? You have to just shut up and carry on. And it's awful for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. We were speaking with the previous panel. Sorry, I was just eating a jelly bean. A little bit about just men being told they are not allowed to cry. And bollocks to that. Like, absolutely. Showing, and I'm not going to say showing your emotion means you're a strong person. Like, no, it means that you're feeling something that has to physically be let go. And there's never ever going to be any shame, at least, from me, and I'm pretty sure from everyone on this panel, for a person who feels that they need to cry, because that isn't something you should just bottle up. That just leads to internal resentment and a lot more struggle to get through to therapy and actually be open. So, yes, it is something that I do wish more people had access to and that they would more consider. I have my own problems with going to therapy, mostly because my brain likes to go prideful, like, you don't need that. And it's like, well, why don't you? Like, so I'm still working to get over that hurdle myself, but I'm certain we'll get there. And Kaylin, what would you like to add?
Not to get political, but like, we need to kind of like face down the fact that the rise of the far right in Anglophone countries is contributing to the loss of understanding for mental health. Here in the States, mental health treatment is inextricably tied to white supremacy and eugenics. These things are the science all came, the quote unquote science all came from the same place. It's all these are this is not a politically neutral situation with regards to mental health and receiving treatment for it. Like, I spaced out during my section, so I forgot to mention any of the stuff that I'm living with. But like, I have generalized anxiety disorder. I've had chronic depression with suicidal ideation for 20 years ish. And I've been living with it that whole time, managing it through therapy, medication, stuff like that. It wasn't until recently that I like gained a nerve condition and trauma conditions. A lot of that was thanks to the presidential administration that we just went through, and you know, mounting transphobia everywhere in the English-speaking world. Like, I think that a thing that I really want people to be aware of is the way that regressives and reactionaries use mental health language to like purposefully obscure what mental health is, what mental illness is. There's this drive, and you see some neoliberal folks pick it up, which is that like if somebody is doing something evil or bad, you say that they're sick. You say that they're mentally ill. And this is all part of like an effort to flatten mental illness as a concept. And it's all an effort to flatten the mentally ill into a single category of people who can then be conveniently oppressed as a whole. And like, this is a huge problem in the States. It's a growing problem in the UK. I'm seeing a lot of it in other European countries. I definitely, Poland is struggling with this. Who else was it? Gosh, they're basically, we're seeing a lot of crackdown on neurodivergence. And I think that, like, you know, being aware of the really like small passive ways that our allies and friends contribute to this is going to be part of getting through it.
Yeah, very well spoken. Thank you, Kaylin, because you can't avoid being political. Being political is not a bad thing, because when politics are inextricably linked to people's livelihoods, health, and their ability to live, you have to be political. Radis?
Can I? Yeah, sorry.
Go on.
It's just at the front of my mind right now. I didn't really talk about any mental health issues when I did my intro, because my brain was just like, just talk about the disability. My mental health it's been kind of up and down my whole life. Like, I grew up in an abusive home, so I needed a lot of counseling and stuff when I was a kid. But where I'm at now is a direct result of the politics of the UK government. I've had really bad anxiety to the point where I can't actually talk about the exact stuff I went through, but I can still give a brief little snippet of what it was like. Basically in like 2018, I got hauled in for a police interview under caution. The interview thing, cold room, 2 policemen in front of me, and they just essentially traumatized me to try and make me admit that I'm not ill and I don't need support from the DWP. And it led to, you know, being told that I could get arrested for committing fraud and all sorts of other stuff that just really screws with you, because I know I'm not faking it. Like, I know I'm ill and I know I'm in pain and I know I'm exhausted all the time. And they don't know anything. They're not doctors, they're police. They don't have any. I had a big stack of papers. I was like, here's all my doctor's notes. And they went, we don't need that. And then they just went off at me. And then I had to go to tribunal 4 times because it was such a big case. And I had to go 4 times back there just to get insulted and gaslit and lied to, and constant insinuations that I'm pretending that I'm okay. But basically, FUCK the DWP, FUCK the Tories, and I still need support now, but because of the pandemic, waiting times for therapy, and also I just moved to the Netherlands, so I've just gone into a new system. So I had to start from the beginning with getting my diagnoses confirmed and getting on the waiting list at the beginning. So I'm still struggling, but I don't know how I can safely talk about it without, I don't want to break down every time I talk about it.
No,
I
that's
want to be able to
understandable.
work on it myself before I'm able to really be open about what it's like, and the way that mental health can be hit so strongly with something that doesn't seem traumatic to some, but it is incredibly.
I'm incredibly proud of you, Radders. I know this can't be easy to talk about, and I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. And obviously, we all wish it never had, but it did. But
it happens to so many people.
It does.
It's not a personal thing.
No.
Like the only thing that was able to get me through it without making that choice, because I was close to it at one point, was knowing that it's not me. Yes. Knowing that I'm not the only one that is getting targeted like this. Like people with terminal illnesses are being told to go back to work, and they're not sick. People with cancer are being told that they're fine, and that having their radiation and chemotherapy shouldn't stop them from being able to work.
They asked my mum, who has one leg, if the other would get better.
They don't care.
No.
We are just numbers and drains on their system. They don't care. They don't want a welfare state.
No.
They don't want welfare to exist to support people. They want to push and push and push until we no longer say, like, hey, no, I need support, until we give up. That's all they want. They want us to give up. And politically, everything is political. Our whole entire lives are political, and we can't sit back and just say, it is what it is. Yes. It shouldn't be that way.
No. Mouse, I will come to you in just a moment, my love. I'll keep you next, and then I think Drax got a hand up as well, or it's just very comfortable. Don't you worry, Radders. No.
This is just my comfy pose, yeah.
Fabulous. I will just say, Radders, what happened to you wasn't your fault. You are incredibly valid. You know that, but sometimes I know it helps to hear it, and I'm incredibly proud of you for sharing your story. I know it's difficult. I know it hurts, so thank you. For anyone in the chat, if this has resonated with you, anything that anyone is saying, if you type in !I need help, there is a link I've put in there which will take you to a big repository of helplines, services, free things that you can contact, people you can contact if you need help or this has triggered anything. Do reach out to somebody. None of us here are, well, not that I'm aware of, are legally, therapists or able to help you, but there are people there that can. So please do reach out to somebody if you are requiring help after what we're talking about today. I will also say that I am a registered mental health first aider, and the one thing I learned about mental health that I really never considered before is mental health. Take out the mental bit, it's just health. Because your mental health is the same as your regular health. Your mental health goes in the toilet, so does everything else. And so you can't just say, oh, mentally I'm really bad, but physically I'm fine. It's like, no, because one will affect the other. And that's something to always understand. Just because you're having a bad brain day doesn't mean you can just turn up to work and continue your motor functions as normal. That's not how any of this works. And understanding that your mental health really does affect you physically will maybe help some people understand a little bit of what they're going through, and that it is okay not to be okay. It sucks, but it's happening and you can get through it. Sometimes you need to reach out, sometimes you need to just take some time away, but everybody's concerns and everything they are going through is valid, and it isn't your fault. But yes, thank you, Radders. Mouse, what did you want to say, honey? And then we'll go over to Drac.
Just to add on to what Radders was saying about, like, heck the DWP, because my first assessment with them, they sent someone who, first of all, was not a medical professional. This person did not have a medical degree. They did not know anything about my health apart from what I told them and what my doctors told them. And they turned around to me and their very last question to me was, if things are this bad for you, why haven't you killed yourself yet?
Whoa, fuck that. Sorry, I know we're not on a mature stream right now, but no, fuck that.
Yeah. That was my first assessment with them when I was 19 years old. I was still a child.
Yep.
At that point. Like, I'm still a child now, but I was a child at that point.
Yes.
My dad has stage 4 cancer, and they keep telling him that he's fit to work in a pandemic when he's had radiation and chemo and has no immune system.
Yep.
And they're saying that he's fit to work.
Nope.
Like, their entire system is literally, I saw it in chat as well, is genocide by austerity. They want to get rid of anyone that they deem not contributing enough to society. And they don't look at the person individually, they just look at the situation you're in. Doesn't matter. If you're chronically ill or disabled or mentally ill, they do not want you as part of their society because they deem that you're not productive enough or whatever. And it doesn't matter. Like, I've nearly got my fucking PhD, you know? But to them, I'm not productive enough. And you know what? It's not our fault. It's a problem with them because they've been fed with a fucking silver spoon their entire life. They don't know what it's like to live without all of their wealth.
No.
So all they do while they're working in a government for the people is like create situations that protect them and their friends' wealth and causes, you know, a bigger wealth gap for everyone else.
Yes.
Look at the pandemic. Workers worldwide lost 3.7 trillion. Billionaires made 3.9 trillion.
Yep.
That's not a coincidence.
No. I did like a saying that I heard recently to do with this whole stock market stuff. It's like, wealth does trickle down, but you have to make them bleed first. Like,
eat the rich.
Eat the rich. Eat the rich. That's
Yeah.
the official saying of the stream. Eat the rich. No.
I'm very passionate about this. We
Minecraft.
rant about this
Very
a lot
well-
on stream.
And very well spoken. You've all had fantastic points right now. And I very much appreciate it. I do remember my mum telling me, so my mum has quite severe endometriosis as well. Luckily, that's something that was never passed down to me that I'm aware of. But at 15 years old in the 80s, they said, oh, we could do surgery, but have you considered just having a baby? It's like,
Oh yeah, no, I got that one.
Oh yeah.
it's like, no, I'd
First
rather
thing out of
not
a
have
doctor's
crotch
mouth.
spawn, thank you. I quite like surgery. Yeah, which is why I can't have kids. Like, physically, I could. But I have multiple genetic conditions that could be passed down. My husband has Asperger's syndrome, which is passed down through the father's line, not through the mother's. Our child would likely be in a lot of pain with mental conditions that neither they nor I could comfortably look after and to help. So I can't have kids. It's not right for me to have a child. But I can't ask for a hysterectomy because what does your husband think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care what my husband thinks. It's up to me. Like, of course, I care for him, but it's my uterus. So, of course, you have to then live with the risk of getting pregnant and, you know, not necessarily having, like in Poland in the minute where they're trying to ban abortion. Like, you people who say they are pro-life, they aren't. They're pro-birth. They don't care what happens afterwards. So
You're pro-life until you're born, and if you're born into poverty, they don't care about you.
No, it's like you get popped out and they go, well, good luck.
yeah. So apologies for taking that a little bit to the side there, but yes, Drac,
This is
we'll
why
go
medical advocacy is so important.
very much so, and it's why you have to be your own biggest advocate as well, even if it hurts. Which is why I think being able to reach out to other people who are a bit like you and getting their help advocating as well is so powerful. Because there are tips and tricks to this medical system. You just have to find somebody who already knows them. It's like secret bloody cheats in GTA when you're a kid, writing down all the right things to say and the exact taglines and the codes to cite. When you know them, you can make it through. If you don't, you're just stuck at the boss level and can't get through. Right, so we will go to Drac, and then Rosa has got their hand up, but they can't be seen, so I didn't know. So let's go over to Drac, and then we'll go over to Rosa and continue from there, my darlings.
I think it's very much been highlighted with both the mental health and the endometriosis, especially, that you really do have to. This is the thing. Mental health thing is that you actually do have to fight for it.
Yeah.
You can't expect that they're going to look after you in the way that you need to be looked after. You have to push, and you're going to end up resulted in being called a hypochondriac. They're not going to take you seriously. You're going to have to push and push and push to get the doctors to pay attention, and that it shouldn't be that way. No. It shouldn't be that way, because just because I have a uterus doesn't mean that I need to birth a child to solve my 10 years of chronic pain and crippling pain that's been basically reducing me to a blob for so long. And the same with mental health. I shouldn't have to get to a point where I tried to, trigger warning, hang myself for them to pay attention.
No.
And for them to take it seriously. And just because I was doing a PhD during that time doesn't necessarily mean that that was the thing that needed, oh, it's fixed now, it's over. So we've just dumped you out of the system. And this is the problem. They try to get you out of the system as fast as possible without actually giving you any help. Their aim is to remove people from the lists, not to help them. And they don't take into account the whole. They don't take into account everything about a person. They have a tick list. And if you don't fit into that tick list, you're not helped. And that's what I feel is really important to know about getting help and dealing with mental health and dealing with physical health, is that you are going to have to fight, and they're not actually going to be necessarily the best people to deal with it.
No. So yeah, as I say, reach out to people willing to talk and to help, and look for online boards of people who have gone through the same sorts of things as you, and try and learn from them, because as we say, the system is easy.
Extremely important to have community. It's extremely important to find your people, because they're going to be your biggest help in getting through and surviving it.
Yes. Yep. And to the point where one day you can then help somebody else.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Well, medical advocacy orgs are also really important to support, because those are people who basically dedicate themselves to helping people get through this stuff and helping people circumvent a system that's designed to hurt us. Just wanted to get that in there because it's relevant to this question specifically, and I wanted to make sure that somebody mentioned that there are orgs whose job it is to help with this.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Kaylin. Rosa, my darling, what did you want to add to this?
Just really quickly, if anyone's going through like trying to get a diagnosis or trying to get support, intimidation is on their agenda for their tactic. You are going to be asked shock value questions. They are going to try and give you nonsense suggestions. Like in 2006, I was asked by the benefits office if I wanted benefits to continue, why don't I just have a child? My mum was sat in the room with me, and I think I saw her change so many colors of purple in 3 seconds. It's just, be aware of it, be prepared for it, that it is going to happen. It is a tactic that they use. Don't back down.
No.
Keep pushing.
Yeah, keep notes, especially if you feel something, if you do have, again, trigger warning, a suicidal ideation, or you are having thoughts, having feelings. If you, again, this whole sentence of mine is a trigger warning, so you are aware. If you've cut yourself previously and you feel that you need to do that again, write it down. It may be horrible to look at, but a lot of the time, if you go into a meeting like this and they ask you a shock question, you forget to say the important thing, you won't get help for it. So if you have a note on your phone, or you can keep a small piece of paper, if you can keep a diary, even if you just scribble it down on a napkin, you shove that in your bag, if you can keep a record of these things, you will find it helps you. Maybe not a ton, but that means when you go into a doctor's office and they say, what's wrong? You can go, fucking here, this is what's wrong. And I did
make
that
sure
last
to
time.
request your medical records.
That too. Yes, in fact, I was very lucky on my diagnosis with fibro because I went in and said, here's all these things. I can't remember shit. I've been losing memory. I can't talk. I keep falling. And they were like, okay, we think it could be fibro. I went, both parents have got it. Here's my list of symptoms. They went, okay, diagnosis done. And it was done in a day because I knew what to say to them to be like, I already know this is going to be my diagnosis. Here's why. And as I say, I was very lucky to have a doctor that gave a shit about actually getting me that diagnosis. So it happened very quickly. But yes, that's my main advice, is just keep everything written for your own sanity as well, because there will be days when you doubt yourself. There will be days when you lay on your sofa in a blanket going, am I just lazy? Like, do I just not care? Am I just doing this because it's easier just to lay here and do nothing? No, it's because there's genuinely something wrong and it sucks, and your brain will sometimes try to tell you that what other people tell you is the truth. So you
I
do
think
have
it's
to...
the horrible almost side effect of living in quite an ableist society.
Yes.
In a society that pushes your self-worth based on the amount of work you can do. And then when you live with a condition that is variable, whether that's mental or physical or both, you might have a day where you kind of feel like, so like with me, with the ME, if I have a day where I wake up and I'm like, wow, I don't feel more tired today. Do I really have ME?
Yes.
Am I just faking it? And then I'm thinking, like, oh, I've got a bit more energy. I'll do some bits that I've been neglecting because I've been so exhausted. But maybe it was just me being lazy.
Yeah.
And then you
Oh God, I feel that so hard.
Yeah, me too.
And then the next day, you're like,
God.
wow, I got run over by a truck in the middle of the night.
Yep, and it's
I'm
like, no,
still
I just
ill.
did the dishes.
It's that constant self-doubt that you really have to fight, because the doubt comes a lot from the outside and you internalize it a lot.
Yes.
The imposter syndrome of your own illnesses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
real.
I mean, I have enough imposter syndrome being in the streaming industry as it is. I don't also need this one as well.
Yeah,
But
no.
it is what it is. It's, it's rough living in a society that expects so much from you and expects you to be healthy and fit and strong and capable 24/7.
Yes.
And it's not even chronically ill people or people with mental illnesses or any kind of health condition that suffer, because it can be any healthy person that has a rough day
Yes.
gets crap for it.
Yeah.
And then it's tenfold for those who are actually ill every single day. So I think we all just need to work on looking out for one another and remembering that we're not the ones at fault here for feeling these pains or having endo or having a mental health condition or being LGBTQ. Like, it's not a fault thing. There's nothing wrong with you.
No.
The wrong comes from how other people act.
Yes. One medical hack from my chat before I just ask Psychit and Sugar if they've got anything they'd like to add, because I do realise with so many people on the panel it can be a little difficult for everyone to speak, so I'll do my best to facilitate everyone being able to jump in. I do apologise if you've been waiting, but yeah, one medical hack from the chat, unfortunately I've lost the comment, is if a doctor refuses to acknowledge something or refuses a treatment, ask them to put it in writing. Ask them to submit you a form as to why they will not give you that scan, that MRI, that blood test, that urine test, that stool. What if they won't give you a treatment that even maybe they suggested because it's money-based? Ask them to give you a letter of refusal. Most of the time, that makes them look really shit, so they'll happily give you the treatment instead. So yes, if that's happening to you and they say, oh, we won't do this just yet, it's like, okay, could you give me that in writing so I can submit it to my work as to why I have to have extra time off, please? Most of the time,
also don't be afraid to ask for another doctor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, another doctor. A second opinion is something you can ask for, and you can go and find out, or you can take it to an advocate. You can take it to a friend. Your medical records are very much like the don't talk about your wages. It's because somebody else is being paid more and they don't want you to discuss that. Your medical history shouldn't be secret if there's somebody you trust with it, because they may actually go, that's bullshit. This is this. And then you can go and get some more help. So again, that stiff upper lip doesn't need to exist. and you can challenge doctors at their own game. If they aren't being fair, call them out on it and ask them for their professional letter about it. But yes, Psychic or Sugar, do either of you have anything that you would like to add, my darlings?
Only that, on the flip side of that, being comfortable, I'm perfectly on the, like, your initial question about feeling comfortable discussing mental health issues publicly. Absolutely. I think it's something that we should. However, we are not, as those of us who stream, we are not counselors. So I think that there is definitely a fine line between giving advice and then everything has to be footnoted. Yes. And this is me coming across as super, maybe a little bit colder than I maybe intend to, but if people are like, I'm by no means qualified. I've got a little bit of counseling like experience, but I didn't take it much further. But it's really important that if you are struggling mentally, that I'm a huge advocate for counseling or seeing a medical professional rather than speaking to a live entertainer about your problems. Yes. I feel like that's really cold coming from me, but it's not intentional. You need to be going to the right place rather than going, hey, streamer person that I look up to. Yes. Am I doing the right thing? Which it sucks. It sucks to have to put those sort of like blockades up, because I want to be able to give all of the advice that I possibly can, based on like my previous things that I've gone through historically. But there is definitely that fine line that I think a lot of us, especially those of us who are starting out and are trying to grow our communities, I think a lot of us can be guilty of like giving far more and causing extra mental strain on ourselves, reliving stuff. There needs to be that line of making sure that people are seeing the correct people and doing the correct things. And there's no harm in giving like a little bit of advice, but there's a level to be watched there.
Yeah, it's definitely in that we also don't, and this again sounds cold, but we can't be responsible for an action you're going to take, because we're humans with our own mental health as well. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and if we're giving away a lot of ourselves, say streaming, so some of us it's our jobs, we can't always give you all the time and what you deserve, and that hurts a lot us because we feel like failures. But it's not because we don't care, it's because sometimes we can't, otherwise everything else goes to shit. And as I say, see the right people.
I don't know about anyone else, but I know for myself, I'm not a registered professional.
Yes.
I'm not trained in psychology, therapy, counseling, whatever. And being able to offer some support, some advice is always a really nice thing to do, because you want to help people. But it's the kind of thing to say, like, listen, hey, if you really need to like really get into this sort of thing, try and find a therapist or try and find like a professional who can help you through it, because I might say or recommend things that will actually in the long term do harm. But because I'm not trained, I don't know. I only know what I've experienced and what I think I would do. But I if we're not trained professionals, we can't give professional help. And it's it's more harm to sit back and go, yeah, let's talk. Let's get you through all your problems, because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Plus, you can't really delve into somebody's trauma on the middle of a live stream where you've got, you know, people being blown up in the background and other people there being like, "Ha, poggers!" You can't suddenly go into. You can't do that.
There is certainly that thing that there's that thing where people are very much interested to get your feedback and stuff, and it's all well and good having it in like having a DM with someone where you're just sort of like going back and forth and having conversation is fine, but again, there's boundaries with that as well. But it's it can be really because I really want to help people. I really want to help people, and it's finding that fine line between helping someone and then doing something that is not just going to come back and bite you on the arse, but it's kind of like you don't want to. I don't want to overstep any boundaries for another human. Another human may have an entirely different experience to me, and it's incredibly important to make sure that they're seeing the right people.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, set your boundaries.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
but also don't be the flip side where it's like you're not a welcoming environment to be able to talk about things. Like, don't be the positivity streamers that
Toxic positivity.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Right, let me just pause everyone for a second, because we haven't heard much from Sugar Pixie. I don't want us to speak over each other, because I know a lot of us are loud and bombastic voices. So, Sugar Pixie, my darling, is there anything that you would like to add, or anything from your experience?
From my experience personally, what to me is really important, I live with an inflammatory bowel disease, and to me it's very important to be very open about that, because it's like that for all diseases, but in the case of inflammatory bowel diseases, people just don't like other people or talking about their own shit in the literal and the figurative sense. And that makes it just a super, obscure thing to talk about. No one has any idea what's going on, like with tests in the hospital, what they do and all that. And I'm super open about it, and people often like, dude, why are you talking about this? But it helps. Like when I met my husband, it was a thing that he said shortly after I met him. Like, it's so nice that you're open about this, about your health, about your, instead of going, yeah, well, I have a disease and that's it. And also I wanted to, sorry, I'm going all over the place here because I've been mulling things over, like, while everyone else was talking, and I'm like, God, what did I want to say? I also wanted to elaborate on what you said, Paige, about stress. And it's not mental health, it's just health. And I totally agree with that. With ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, which is probably a more, a term that more people have heard of. Stress is one of the biggest triggers for inflammatory bowel diseases. There's periods of inflammation and periods of remission. And just people being little shits to you about it and being not understanding causes stress. In my case, very extremely, because I have massive anxiety for social situations and stuff like that, especially insurance doctors. Like other people have said, I have those experiences as well. You go there with your medical file and everything, and they're like, nah, I didn't read it.
Thank you.
And I'm like, you're a bit young to already have decided that you can't work full times anymore. Like maybe in a year or so you'll be able to work full time. It's fine. And then you work yourself up over it. I go home, I'm completely stressed out. Then my bowel starts flaring up again. I have like cramps and I have to run to the toilet like 30 times a day for a week. And then I start stressing myself out again. Oh my God, I can't go to work like this. They're going to fire me because of my health, yada, yada. And then it just keeps...
Yeah, I mean... I had a point, and then brain fog completely swept in like a wave, and it completely went out the other end. I don't know where I'm going now. Hold on. No, I've lost it. Okay, carrying on. But yes, Sugar, thank you so much for sharing that with us, because again, most people wouldn't really talk about Crohn's or inflammatory bowel because, poop jokes. But no, it's a serious thing, and it is, without laughing, shit that people actually go through. And I'm really excited and proud that you came to talk to us about it, but especially with anxiety, because although it's not something I suffer much myself, my husband does, and so I see what it looks like and kind of what it feels like from the outside, and it takes a lot of metaphorical balls to come and chat in a big panel with lots of people on the internet about living with anxiety, so I very much thank you for your time. And all of you for everything you're sharing. I do wish we had more time. Unfortunately, so many people sprinted at me that I had to try and get panel sizes that were manageable. But you've all been fantastic, and thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, and you've all been wonderful.
Has anyone got any last words that they wanted to share with the chat, or just anything that they'd like to say that they haven't had a chance to say yet? Or...
Can we do this again?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
In fact, we absolutely can, because the next...
Can we eat the rich?
We can eat the rich, of course. We will do a barbecue to celebrate. the next Through Our Eyes stream is actually going to be in at the end of March, which is an LGBTQIA special, which is also going to be a fundraiser for a UK-based trans charity to help out with some of the horrendous shit that's going on around the trans communities at the minute. And then 2 months after that will likely be a disability special and health special, again raising money possibly for something like Mind, although we are of course going to open it up to fundraising charities from other countries, but we will be doing more of these going on throughout the year, so everyone gets a bit more of a chance to come back and talk and to share more, because as I said with the last panel, we have all lived years with what we live with, and there is so much we could talk about that we can't fit into an hour and a half. So again, thank you all so much, and I would love to speak with you all again. And as I say, everything you have or are going through is not your fault, and it is valid. And I'm proud of every single one of you.
Please don't do the
Thanks
voice
so much
crack.
for having
I'll
us
cry. I've already cried
Thank you
once
so much
today.
for having us
That's all right.
on.
My eyeliner is just holding in there, but you know. Right.
Man.
Oh, bloody hell, Gra. Hey, Gra.
Hello. Hi.
Yes.
I switched over while you weren't paying attention.
I was paying attention. I saw. Don't you worry.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us, by the way. Really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
seriously. And thank you to everybody in the chat for being so lovely and open and, you know, asking questions and not being rude about it. Thank you to everybody that's come in and helped mod for this, because I know that it can be quite a volatile thing to talk about this kind of stuff, especially with Front Page. And Paige, Arthremis, you beautiful ginger night sky queen. You have done so much work for this. You have really worked your socks off, and given the health issues that we all struggle with, and you know that we're all just doing the best we can as it is, you've put in so much effort, and you deserve like to be recognized for how much you've done to make this happen.
Thank you, darling.
You've done a wonderful thing, and you've done wonderful work, so thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, my darlings. Right. I'm afraid we lost. Wait, no. Wait. Did we lose? Wait. Yes. Where'd Kaden go? Oh, I've lost. Hello. Oh, my.
Oh no!
Look at them, they're in love.
Oh god!
Oh, we've been married for 5 years. Fucking hell. Get out of here.
Can confirm, when you get to 10, you don't even hug anymore.
No,
it's okay.
honestly, it's just sneers and disdain from across the room. Honestly. Right, my darlings. I will have to say goodbye to you and get ready for the next panel because we're a few minutes late, but that's okay. I'm sure they have all been happily snacking or something while they wait. I will see you all soon. Thank you all so much. Again, people in the chat, if you are wanting to come and check out this beautiful panel of people for the next few minutes, type in !multi, MULTI. That will give you a link to every single one of these people's channels and where you can find them. But yes, thank you, everybody. I will speak to you all soon.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.